restricts us or anything like that. So again, we want to make sure we're always within community guidelines, which we always stay within because we don't give people opinions and we don't make claims. We only share medical proof. So for all of you, Mona Lisa or Renee or user 548, hello and welcome to the New Health Conversation. That is not Photoshop, what you're looking at there. She absolutely 100% lost 60 pounds in 3 months and no one was allowed to exercise. Now, a lot of people say they think it's a different woman. It's the same person. It's not, we didn't Photoshop it. It's not AI. It's actually the first person. I'll show you another one here. Kristen, this is a little more down to earth, but still 21 pounds, 38 inches in 30 days. And look at from her hips up, look at how much her stomach, that whole area just shrank, okay? And that's without any exercise. No one was allowed to exercise because the researchers, they're not against exercise, but they didn't want that to be part of the outcome. Otherwise people say, well, they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, that's not true. LJ joined us. Hello, everybody. And then let's take a look quickly at Julie here. That is 37 days. She lost 35 pounds. Again, look at the difference in her stomach and her legs and even her arms, etc. Look at that difference. It's not fake. It's not Photoshopped. It's not AI. It's actual 100% real. So let's see. Gut feeling. You're back. You were on my podcast, I think, earlier today, right? Mabel, Michelle, Big Mike's on... Wow, got my call booked for tomorrow. Can't wait. Super gut feeling. Who's your coach? Who's coaching you? I'm just curious. If you don't mind putting it in the chat. I always like to know. I'm a little bit nosy, I know. So everybody, if you can tap on that screen, that'd be great. Let me show you just a couple more pictures and then we'll get into how in the world did they do this. So Curtis, you can see here, is an older gentleman. He lost 40.8 pounds, 52.5 inches in 30 days. But look at his blood work. Look at his A1C, it went from 8.4 to 6.4. His triglycerides went from 242 to 124. That's in 30 days, everyone, 30 days. So let's come back to the beginning and point out, I'm going to explain to you now how in the world do these people do it and it has nothing. Oh, great gut feeling. That's wonderful. That is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I'm prejudiced, but you got the best coach there is, trust me. So anyway, I want to explain to all of you how in the world did they do this. So let's just everybody be patient for just a minute or two, because I want you to understand the significance of this. It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. I didn't invent it. The people who created this are considered the world's greatest nutrition weight loss physiologists, period. They've done 40 years of research, 100 studies, thousands of people, and what did they prove? They proved that diets don't work. So when they came up with this, it was a completely, hello Morgan, hello Beverly Cox, hello Val joined, hello Lupe, let's see, Pooh joined, Sylvia joined, wonderful. Okay, Kimberly Davis, you joined. So I want to explain to you what they did. So first, they figured out the reason that diets don't work, it's pretty obvious. When you go on a diet, you're reducing the amount of food you're consuming. Forget calories. The human body doesn't even know what a calorie is. As a matter of fact, I'd challenge any of you, put the definition of a calorie in the chat, sorry. It's not, it's just ridiculous. We're counting calories and the human body doesn't know what a calorie is. All the body cares about is the amount of nutrition you have. So when you go on a diet, reduce the amount of food you're consuming, you're reducing the amount of nutrition. When the brain figures out there's not enough nutrition, it literally converts your muscles into fuel to run all the organs. Unbelievably inefficient, but unbelievably unhealthy. Because not only are you slowing down your metabolism, that's why you plateau on these diets. That's why you come off the diet, you gain everything back. But worse, when you lose lean muscle, you also 1,000,000% slow down your own immune system. So these very diets that you're going on are causing you to become unhealthy. So the researchers said, wait a minute, can we come up with a whole new strategy by able to lower the amount of food people get consumed, but increase nutrition? So here's what they did. The researchers, they developed a grocery list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables that she consumed, but only 30% of what she consumed in a whole month came from this grocery list. And what they didn't do, they didn't focus on calories, they focused on serving sizes for her to go by. As a matter of fact, if you do decide to do it, you get what they used in the medical studies. I think I've got it here somewhere. Here it is. It's called the Blueprint for Success, and all of these yellows are actually videos from the researchers explaining to you what they did, why they did it, why it's safe, and they don't have any products. They don't sell anything. This is not lotions, potions, pills, capsules, supplements. No, it doesn't work like that. So 30% came from the grocery store. The other 70%, this is really interesting, they found other researchers that had gone to areas of the world where people were living like to be 100 years old and they were almost exclusively healthy. So they isolated places in Russia, in Mongolia, in Tibet, Nepal, in the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand that had these huge amounts of nutrition, but not huge amounts of quantity, okay? Well, all I know is I'm not saying you could live to be 100, but I sure like to, whatever they're taking, if they're going to live to be 100, I don't think there's anything bad I could do, right? Okay, so now they had the foods, the total. Then they created 2 new ways of consuming the food. So 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day, starting with these incredible foods from around the world. That was breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner, these food groups from around the world. That was 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. 2 days out of 7, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not time restricted eating, not water fasting. On those days, no food from the grocery store, but only these 5 foods. But this time, they let her eat 8 times a day. She was having something about every hour and a half or 2 hours. No food, no conventional food from the grocery store, only these nutrients from these foods from around the world where, people were living to be 100 years old, right? Look at the results. Those are the results. Now, here's the other thing for, hello, not Ron, hello, River Branch, hello, Stealth Women, hello, non-Ron, Ryan, hello, user 812, Budget Printing Hub joined. Okay. So, again, what we've done for you, you can see, hopefully you can read it right above her. If you can't, I'm going to put it down in the chat because the people on the last podcast said they couldn't read it clearly. The new health conversation. I just put it, it's at the bottom of the chat where you all can see it now. You can see it right there, the new health conversation. That's a free website to go. If you go there, we won't contact you. We're not going to call you. We're not going to text you. No, we don't need to do that. You got to understand that this is going to make every diet obsolete. This has nothing to do with counting calories. And no one is allowed to exercise. So now let's look at Kristen. Would any of you be unhappy with 21 pounds in 30 days and 38.75 inches? Look at the change from her hips to her stomach to her waist to her abdomen. Look at that change without any MWNLP2. Hello. Now, again, Julie, this is 35 pounds in 37 days. That's almost a pound a day. Look at the change in her body. And that's with no exercise. I know you're all skeptical going, this can't be real. It's got to be unhealthy to lose that much weight that fast on a diet. This is not a diet. And what makes it so different, somebody asked me before on one of the podcasts earlier today, it's backed by 10 peer-reviewed medical studies on human beings. These things took 12, in some cases 13 years for them from the time they started until they got published. This is a huge deal for humanity, for all of us. Listen, 80% of America is overweight as we sit here today. 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic. In Johns Hopkins Medical School, I got the study right here. Just from Johns Hopkins Medical School, study predicts obesity apocalypse. By 2030, 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese in less than 5 years. What are we doing? I'd love for anybody to put in the chat, tell me a diet that you think works long term. There's no science to ever back that up. None. Zero. Now, I don't ever want you to believe me because I want to stay, number one, within the community guidelines. That's really important. We don't give opinions. We're not making claims. We're reading from the medical proof. So let's take a look. For example, this is from Medicare. Title, Medicare Search for Effective Obesity Treatments. Diets are not the answer. That's Medicare saying that. Listen to what they said. Our researchers reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calories in, calories out, restricted diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. The study showed that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on any of their diets. In summary, there is little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. That's Medicare saying that. I mean, what are you doing? You're listening to influencers. They're giving you opinions and they've got, they're nice people. There's medical doctors and chiropractors. They don't have a solution. Do you understand? You can't possibly think if we're going to be at 86% overweight and obese in less than 5 years, that diets are working, including the diets you're on right now. When right here they said 2/3. 2/3 of people on calories in, calories out end up weighing more than when they started. What are you doing? You're going on a diet to gain weight. You don't even know it. It's not your fault. Diets are dead. You get it? They're done. They're finished. Look at these results, everyone. Look at that. Is that amazing or what? So AWOC, Bro Jimmy, Libby Mall, Layla, who else? Teddy, JoJo's. Who else? Here's here at Jay's. You must be a hair salon. Follow the creator. Okay, that's great. So now let me just show you Curtis. Now here's the point. It's not a diet. Look at his lab work first. His A1C, his blood sugar, 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides, 242 to 124 in 30 days. Oh, and by the way, he lost 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days. That's 10 pounds a week. Seriously, put in the chat for me. Have any of you ever seen anything like this before, ever? Where would it be? When? How? What? Who? I mean, this is insane. And look at his stomach. Look at how much his stomach went down, everyone. So again, I would hope we're only at 103 likes. Come on, let's tap on that screen, get this up to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Because look, the more people that can view this, the more people we can help. Now, again, I'm going to show you the website again. Above her head, if you can all read that. Please, anybody let me know if you can read that, because the last group said they couldn't. I'm going to also put it down. I'm going to post it on the chat, at the bottom of the chat. If I could just spell it right, it would be better. The New Health Conversation. Okay. Okay, hold on. There we go. The New Health Conversation. So it's above her head in blue. You can see it, and then there. But also look above her head in black. It says, free coaching to ensure your success. You can see it right there. The coaching is free. If you go to that website, we won't contact you. We won't call you. We won't text you, because we're not gathering your information. The only way we'll reach out to you is if you reach out to us and give us permission to contact you. We don't need to convince you. We don't need to sell you. You probably will want to see this information. On that website, there's an interview with the number one weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. They rate researchers. That's a rating service. He's number one in the world. I mean, who are you going to listen to? An influencer that, they're writing on a whiteboard and they don't have any medical, they don't have any proof. And yet the majority of you, I'd say more than 99% of you, will go back to Atkins or paleo or keto or Mediterranean or intermittent fasting, time restricted eating, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, nutrition. None of them work long term. I'm going to read to you from another big study where they said, this is just crazy. Here's one. Why you shouldn't count calories. This study. While counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to counter restrict their calories gain back more weight than they lost. So did you know you're on a diet to gain weight? Was that your goal? Was that your goal? Let's look at a fourth big study, the science behind why diets don't work, okay? Here's what they said. A review of more than 30 long-term studies show that going on a diet, calories in, calories out, actually causes weight gain. The more diets someone has tried, the more they weigh. So not only does dieting not work for long-term weight loss, but it's also associated with increased risk of binge eating, eating disorders, and long-term weight gain. Do you see the insanity? Is it just me? Do you see the insanity of what we're doing, of what we've been told? I believe they believe this stuff. But why aren't they showing you medical proof? Because they don't have any. Do you understand? They don't have any. We have 10 peer-reviewed. How do you think she did this? It's not photoshopped and it's not AI. Look at her. Look at her face. Look at her arms. Look at her body. Look at what changed. Zachariah Arab, hello. Leela 19, hello. User, let's see. J All 292. Denise. I'm trying to say as many as people as I can. Shireen, user 885. Kwan's, Susanna, hello. Look, I just love anybody putting a chart. Tell me what diet you think works long term. And look, you can disagree with me. That's fine. But the only rule I have is let's keep it civil conversation. I don't need to have you call me names because you don't agree with what. But you got to understand, nothing I'm sharing with you. People get mad at me. I'm just sharing what the researchers have found now. And what are they all saying? Stop dieting by counting calories. Stop it. It doesn't work. It's never been proven long-term to keep weight off. And 2/3 of you are going to end up weighing more than when you started. Please, someone put it in the chat. Does that sound like a good outcome to all of you that want to get healthy and lose weight and keep it off? Do you know what this program is called? R2M. You know what it stands for? Race to maintenance. So the picture you're looking at right there of this, she's actually the daughter of a friend of mine. That was 9 years. She's kept the weight off now for 9 years. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. That's the only reason to do, well, there's a lot of reasons to do this. That's why I keep emphasizing things like, I mean, come on, who would not be happy with 5 pounds a week, 38 inches in 30 days, and no one was allowed to exercise? I'd like some comments. It doesn't work. No, Jimbo. Oh my God, I was waiting for this, okay? Thermogenesis. No. Are we talking about thermogenesis, Jimbo, or are we talking about thermodynamics? So let me read to you why that is a bunch of nonsense, thermodynamics. You're not saying that, you're saying thermogenesis, but there's not any one shred of medical evidence backing that up. Let me read to you about thermodynamics, because I get this question a lot. For decades, the conventional wisdom surrounding weight loss has been dominated by a simplistic formula: eat less, move more. The advice has been framed around the idea that calories as units of energy can be managed like a straightforward equation: calories in, calories out. But if this is true, then why are 80% of Americans overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic? Despite widespread adherence to calorie-counting diets and fitness routines, the answer lies in the deep biological complexities that govern our bodies, which are far more intricate than the laws of physics. At the heart of the calorie theory is the first law of thermodynamics, which asserts that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. The principle applies to a closed-loop system where energy is conserved. However, the human body is not a closed-loop system. It's constantly interacting with the environment, expelling heat, sweating, and releasing waste. Simply put, our body is constantly losing energy in ways that aren't captured by basic thermodynamics. This is where the second law of thermodynamics comes into play, which is called entropy, the measure of energy that cannot be used for work. In biological systems, energy. Basically what they're saying is the second law of thermodynamics also doesn't apply. So this argument, we get it all the time. It doesn't work. It's nothing. The human body has no idea what a calorie is. It doesn't count calories, despite you counting calories and being brainwashed in this. No one has ever seen results like this before. Never. Look at this, okay? How about 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days with no exercise? You show me anything on the planet like this. Okay, Jimbo, did you just see? Thermodynamics, it doesn't apply. Do you understand? That's not my explanation. This is from physicists saying it does not apply to the human body. So whatever you've been told, it's 100% wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying whatever you were taught or thought, it doesn't work. It's a bunch of nonsense. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. I don't mess around. I only give medical proof. I do not give my opinions. I don't make claims. It doesn't matter what I think. Okay, I've been a nutritional researcher 23 years. I've written 4 best-selling books. I did 20 shows on PBS and did over 1,500 live lectures around the world at universities and hospitals and medical schools, and they even flew me to China. I only rely on medical proof. Thermodynamics has no relationship to the human body, just so everybody knows, okay? Who else would like to? Okay, so Adele, say hi. Giggles, say hi. Sylvia Con 29, nice. Carol Bruker, AM joined, and AM joined twice. Okay, so let's just take a look at some of this, everybody. Look at Julie. That's 35 pounds in 37 days. No calorie counting diet has ever produced anything like that. It's mind-boggling. But it was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. Not me. I'm just sharing with you the medical proof. That's all. So again, I'd like to, Madison joined. Hey, hello, Madison. If not, eat less, move more. No, Jimbo, you're wrong. Oh, Jimbo, really? That's the case? Okay, Jimbo, let's go to Medicare, Jim. Is that good enough for you? Here, Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. They said, in the studies we reviewed of calories in, calories out, restricting diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. The study showed that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on the diets by counting calories. In summary, there's little support for the notion that calories in, calories out leads to any lasting weight loss or health benefits. Jimbo, sorry to tell you, you're out of, no, it's wrong, Jimbo, sorry. I mean, you have to show me a peer-reviewed human trial medical study. There aren't any. I do this. This is what I do for a living, okay? I'm a researcher. And I appreciate your opinion. I appreciate your feedback, and that's an opinion. But my God, look around. Everybody's counting calories. Name a diet that's not some form of counting calories. What would it be? We have 80% of America overweight, 50% obese, and 50% pre-diabetic. Does that sound to you like it's working? Because here's the problem, Jimbo. The human body has no idea what a calorie is. Do you know? Please tell everybody that. Type in the definition of a calorie. What's a calorie? Why are we counting them? The body doesn't have a clue what a calorie is. The body only cares about nutrition. What they never tell you, when you go on a diet, you're reducing the amount of food you're consuming, you're reducing the amount of what? Nutrition. The brain thinks you're starving to death. I don't give a what the hell the diet is. 25 to 40% of what they're losing on all these stupid diets is lean muscle mass. Period. Not up for debate. Just what's going on. People, I get these same comments all the time. And then Johns Hopkins Medical School comes out and says, let me find it right here. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese by 2030. Does that sound to you like, Jimbo, like calories in, calories out is working? It's nonsense. It's total nonsense. It's dog water. Harvard Medical School right here. Stop counting calories. This is Harvard Medical School, not me. They said, here's what they said. The idea of a calorie in and a calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not just antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. That's Harvard Medical School. See, people get mad at me. I'm just sharing the medical research. No one's ever been able to counter this. No one's ever come to me and showed me, oh, calories in, calories out is really... No, it's ridiculous. Who made up the rule about counting calories? Who? The body has no idea what a calorie is. It's just a measurement. So anyway, for the rest of you, time. Jimbo, are you listening to me, Jimbo? I'm sharing with you the top weight loss, nutrition physiologists in the world. Jimbo, when they did the measurement, like on her, not only did she lose no lean muscle, she gained 6 to 9% lean muscle with no exercise. So your theory, if this was a diet and this was happening, I'd be 100% in agreement. We can disagree. Let's just have a civil conversation. But you cannot present any evidence. No one, I do 4 or 5 of these a day. I've never seen anybody come on and show me evidence. The calories, everybody's saying stop counting calories. It's ridiculous. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's just nonsense. What causes the problem with diets and why people, did you hear that too? Where? There's these people right here. A review of more than 30 long-term studies show that going on a diet, calories in, calories out, causes weight gain. The more diets someone has tried, the more they weigh. So not only does dieting not work for long-term weight loss, but it's also associated with increased risk of binge eating, eating disorders, and long-term weight gain. Jimbo, every study's saying that. None of it's my opinion. You're welcome to your opinion. If you want to do paleo or keto or count, go do it. We're not here to convince anybody. But you show me anything like this when you have someone of his age losing 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days, and look at his blood work, 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides 242 to 124 in 30 days. These are the top researchers in the world, not me. It's not my research. I'm just sharing it with the audience, with everybody that they can see it. Yeah. Look at Living with Lynn. I count calories to gain weight. It has not helped. It's just... Yeah, see, Jimbo, thanks for coming on, being civil. It's really nice. See, when people come on like that and they challenge things, they don't have one shred of medical evidence. That's the problem. It's opinions. It's talk. But that's not his fault. Seems like a very nice person. He has an opinion. Go for it. But Jimbo, what you don't understand, 25 to 40% of what people are losing on these diets is lean muscle mass, which makes you unbelievably unhealthy because it also slows down your immune system. So, yeah, this is great and it's free. Exactly, Sylvia. I'm glad you agree with me. And I think Jimbo sounds like a reasonable, a nice person. See, isn't it cool when we can have a civil discussion where we don't have to call each other names that people do that to me. I never understand it. So Susanna or Jeannie or Living with Lynn or Sylvia or any of the other people in here, we need to be able to talk to each other at least. Even if we disagree. But the difference with us, because somebody asked me that, what's different about this than any other diet? Everything. Because the other part we didn't even get to, and Jimbo probably had to leave, is that Jimbo and me and you and every person on here, you all have this medical syndrome. It's called TDOS. T for toxicity, D for nutritional deficiency, O for being overweight, S is for stress. It's a registered trademark, new medical condition, a U.S. patent office. Well, look who invented it or discovered it, me. This is huge. See, what's happening to us, we're drinking, we're breathing, we're eating chemicals. And as they enter your body, the body's taking the chemical and stuff it in the fat cell. That's why you see his stomach on day 1, look at it on the left. 30 days later, look on the right. They proved it in the studies. They did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved that this is removing chemicals from the body. No calories in, calories out, Atkins, none of them have ever produced a gram of toxin leaving the body until now. The main reason to do this, the weight loss is like, that's the number on the scale, and you're going to be very excited about that. Last reason to do it. Look at his blood work. That's what you should concentrate on. His A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides 242 to 124. And then Andy, who lost even more weight, he's younger. He lost 45 pounds and 60 inches in 30 days. His A1C went from 7.9 to 6.2. And his bad cholesterol from 120 to 59. No diet's producing anything like this. And ladies and gentlemen, this is 30 days, not 30 weeks. And again, I want to show you all again. Can you all read above her in the blue? It's in like a lighter blue, the new health conversation. Please let me know, because people complained on my last podcast they couldn't read it and they wanted to go to the website, which is free to go to. We won't contact if you go there. If you like what you see, you can scroll down and you can sign up for get a free coach. It's not a given, it's free. The coaching's free. We got coached. We feel an obligation to coach you because someone coached us. I mean, this is like really cool, right? Terry, what are your foundations? Okay, Terry, how about 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies published in the biggest medical journals in the world? It's the only program in the world with 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies in the biggest medical journals in the world. That's it, Terry. There's no more discussion. Peer-reviewed human trial studies is the end of the line in terms of medical research. That's what the proof is. Nobody else has that. Nobody else. You show me another system with peer-reviewed human trial studies. They don't have it. This is going to change the world. So does that make sense, Terry? What are the foundations for weight loss? Does your book help to gain weight? I'm not selling my books. No books, okay? Sylvia. So Sylvia, you saying you can read it above her head, the new health conversation? Please just let me know, because I'm going to also put it down in the chat just in case any of you. The new. See, what makes this so different is it's the only system in the world, the new health conversation. It's the only one with real medical studies. The rest of it's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. Not one of these diets. There's not a diet out there that hasn't been dismantled, proving that of the weight people lost on any diet, no one's arguing you can lose weight on diets. But when they do the measurements, 25 to 40% of the weight they're losing is lean muscle mass, which slows down your metabolism. But worse, it slows down your immune system. What are we doing? What are we doing? And back to you again, Terry. That's why this is so significant, because we have medical proof that it's safe. Terry, do you know at the end of a month, they measured they looked at no water weight loss, and instead of losing any lean muscle, they gained 6 to 9% lean muscle, Terry, with no exercise allowed. They even wore Fitbits to prove they didn't exercise. And this was, I didn't invent this. This was developed by the top weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. They're rated #1, and they don't have any products to sell. They don't have a company. They're scientists. So how did she do what she did? Let's talk about that right now. So what they figured out after 40 years of research, the reason diets are an abject failure, and we got 80% of America overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic as we sit here today, is a diet is nothing more than lowering the amount of food you're consuming. Forget calories. The human body has no idea what a calorie is, and so far no one has even put in the chat for me the definition of a calorie, okay? I'm still waiting for that. So what the researchers said was this: we need to do something completely different. We're going to give people less food, but we're going to seek out foods with huge amounts of nutrition, nothing to do with calories, and create serving sizes. But these researchers determined, like, for example, how much protein, how much carbohydrate. They did based on the nutritional components that were in those foods, but only 30% of what they consume came from foods in the United States: proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, fruits, etc. Okay, got it? Only 30% for a month. The other 70%, now this is really amazing. The other 70%, the researchers had found other researchers who had done what? They'd gone to areas of the world where people were living to be 100 years old and they were healthy. So those researchers went to places like in Russia, in Mongolia, in Tibet, in the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, where these people were consuming this. I'm not saying you're going to live to be 100, but hell, if I could put something in my body, it's not going to hurt me. I mean, because it was based on not just massive amounts of nutrition, but nutrients that don't exist in food that you're buying at the grocery store, even if it's organic. Some of them, for example, some of the elements come from Mongolia and Tibet. They massively lower stress in your body. Can anybody use that? But more importantly, for the first time ever, no diet's ever shown this. They were able to reduce inflammation in 30 days by 25%. That's unheard of. No diet's ever touched that. Calories in, calories out, thermodynamics, all that nonsense, all that hot air. That's what separates us, Terry, from everything. The medical proof. And if you go to the website, Terry, there's an interview with the #1 nutrition weight loss physiologist in the world. And he says in the interview, after 40 years of research, they'll never recommend to their patients ever again any form of traditional diet. They said it would be unethical because they have the proof. This is the secret to weight loss. And they don't sell anything. They have no vested interest. They're not selling capsules. Or there's no capsules, first of all. It's not supplements, okay? It's completely different than that. And look at the results, everybody. Good, Sylvia. So CERIG 5102, did I not just explain it to you? Okay, what's the secret? I missed it. Okay, Bohemian Carrie. Wow, that's a nice name. Okay, I'm going to explain it to all of you. Let me go backwards. The researchers, the new theory was that can we give people less food but increase nutrition? Okay, that sounds reasonable. Now, how they accomplished it was completely different. Only 30% of what she consumed in a month, she got a grocery list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables, right? But instead of giving her calorie counts, they gave her serving sizes because the researchers are the top weight loss nutrition and physiologists in the world. So they figured out, okay, we want you to have, for example, let's say 4 ounces of a protein. I'm just making this up. But they gave her serving size, but only 30% of what she consumed in a month came from the grocery store. You'd get the grocery list. The other 70%, here's what made it work. The researchers who don't sell anything, they don't have a company, they don't have a dog in this hunt other than their research. Well, they found other researchers who had made it their point to go to areas of the world where people were living to be 100 years old and were way healthier than any of us in the United States. And those researchers got the nutrients from those foods from Russia, from Mongolia, from Tibet and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand. And that's what the researchers used in the studies. So 70% of what she consumed was from these 5 foods around the world where people are living to be 100 years of age. That sounds good to me, right? Then they created 2 completely new ways of consuming food based on these new food parameters, right? So 5 days a week, everybody had 4 meals a day. They started with these foods from these faraway lands. That was breakfast, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner from these foods from around these areas where people are living to be 100. Hello? What do you want to put in your body? 2 days a week, they did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not intermittent fast, not time-restricted eating, nothing to do with that. On those days, no food from the grocery store for all of you, and only these foods from around the world. But this time, they let her have, you ready for this, everyone? She ate 8 times a day. She was eating something every hour and a half over the course of 12 or 14 hours. Look at the results. Look at the results. Yeah, you believe it can work and will work. Well, it sounds, yeah. Well, no, Terry, actually, that's not true. It has nothing to do with a calorie deficit. You're misstating it. A calorie deficit, there's no such thing. The human body doesn't even know what a calorie is. So let's get that off the table right away, Terry. The only thing the body cares about is nutrition. You weren't listening to what I said. These are the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. They have abandoned calorie counting. So has Harvard Medical School. So has study after study after study. Stop counting calories. It has no bearing on the human body. The only thing that matters is nutrition. So what they were able to do, Terry, they gave people less quantity of food, but huge amounts of nutrition. That's why it worked. Because, look at Kristen in a month. 21 pounds, 38 inches. She only needs to lose like 35 pounds. She lost 21 pounds in 30 days. No one was allowed to exercise. How about Julie? 35 pounds in 37 days. That's not Photoshop. That's real. Look at this. Look at the change in her body texture. You think that happens on a diet? Really? At a pound a week? Maybe. Because on diets, they'll tell you don't lose more than a pound a week because it's really unhealthy. I agree. This is not a diet. So anyway, let me show you Curtis here for just a moment. Look at this, everyone. How about 40 pounds, 52 inches in 30 days? He's an older guy. That's 10 pounds a week. Look at his stomach. Now, you can think it's Photoshop. You can think we're making it up. And the majority of you are going to run back. You're going to count calories. You're going to think, nothing I'm sharing with you is my opinion. Zero. Terry, my God, I don't know if you were here. I mean, Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. And our researchers looked at long-term outcomes of calories in, calories out diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. The studies show that calories in, calories out, 2/3 of dieters regain more weight than they lost on their diets. No, get rid of this calorie thing. Get rid of it. It has nothing to do with calorie deficit. What it has to do with is nutritional deficit. So just change the word calorie and put nutrition in there. Then we're going to be on the same page. Who in their right mind would think if Johns Hopkins Medical School says, and I've got it right here, I'll find it in one, here it is. Johns Hopkins Medical School study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese by 2030 in less than 5 years. Does that sound like calorie counting is working to any of you? Does it? Does that sound pretty good to all of you? This is just lunacy what we're doing. So who else would like to make a question or comment? Look, you can all disagree with me. It's fine. But let's just have a civil conversation. I mean, when people come on, they start calling me names and stuff, then I have to block them and get rid of it. That doesn't serve any purpose. Why they get mad at me when all I'm doing is sharing with you the medical proof. But look, open your eyes. Look at that result. What? Look at that, 10 pounds a week, and he's an older guy? Terry, what do you mean it's not? I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. The picture you're looking at 9 years ago, they've kept the weight off. It's in these studies. Some of them were started in, you're making it up. You don't know that. These studies were started in 2012, 13 years ago. They've tracked the people. They've kept the weight off, in that case, for 13 years. I've kept it off for 23 years. So again, you're making an assumption, but you don't have the facts. How would you know? You wouldn't know. No. Terry, it's called R2M. You know what it stands for? Race to maintenance. It's not a question, can we get the weight off you? The question is teaching you how to keep it off for the rest of your life. Again, you're trying to compare this to diets. It's not a diet. It doesn't work anything like that. That's all I can tell you. Like this girl, she's the daughter of a friend of mine. That picture's 9 years old. She's kept that weight off now for 9 years. It's not a diet. Because guess what? They don't lose on this. Lean, muscle, mass. That's why, Terry, people never, the weight they're losing. I just read to you from Medicare, for crying out loud, saying that the research showed that 2/3 of dieters who calories in, calories out, gain more weight than they lost, let alone maintaining what they lost. They end up weighing more than when they started. This is medical proof, not me. I'm not making this stuff up. I appreciate your comments, but they don't apply to this. If you were talking about a diet, now we got a good conversation going. I mean, can you imagine? Look, Terry, I lost 8 pounds in 4 days, 12 pounds in 9 days, 20 pounds in 18 days, 30 pounds in a month, and 40 pounds in 7 weeks. I went from a 42 to a 34-inch waist in 18 days, and I'm still 34-inch pants today, 23 years later. I mean, for those people that are interested, we're not here to talk anybody out of anything. We're here to make you aware. We have a free medical website. Let me show you the website, everybody, so you know I'm not making things up. Here's the website. There's nothing to buy there. Number one, interview with the #1 nutritional research physiologist in the world. 2, an explanation in more detail of what they do on a daily basis. 3, the actual medical studies. You all can go see them for free. Do you understand when you have peer-reviewed human trial studies? You can't edit them. You can't change them. They've already been scrutinized by the top medical doctors and researchers in the entire world. That's what if you go to the website, there's no buy buttons there. There's nothing. The only way we'll contact you is if you scroll down and get a free coach. It's 100% free the whole time. You've never done anything like this before. And already you can see by the comments and the input that I get from our audience, I appreciate that. But you're highlighting the point that there's so much misinformation out there. No one could possibly think that if we're looking at in less than 5 years, 86% of America overweight or obese and 50% pre-diabetic, that somehow what we're doing, calories in, calories out, is working. It's just total rubbish. It's just total rubbish. Does work. It should be discouraged. You're saying, I'm saying though, calorie, it does not, Terry, please give me the definition of a calorie. Type in the definition of a calorie. I'll wait. No, Terry, no. Terry, you're wrong. Sorry. Yeah, but of course, can't wait, Cindy. Good. Why, Terry, why are you questioning? I've got 10 or 12 peer-reviewed studies that are saying calorie count. Harvard Medical School, for crying out loud, stop counting calories. The idea, right here, the idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not just antiquated, it's just wrong. Wrong. Again, give me the definition of a calorie. I'm waiting. Any of you, please, give me. Do any of you even know what a calorie is? I'm not saying you don't, Terry. Most people don't. They don't have a clue. Terry, you're entitled to your opinion. Great. Hold on to it then. Then do paleo, do keto, of course you can lose weight on the Twinkie diet. We're not arguing that. But what kind of weight are you losing? You're losing your lean muscle mass, not because I say so, because all the studies say that. Let's do one more thing before I have to close out. Let's talk about the shots. What are the shots? Ozempic, triepside, semaglutide. What do they do? They slow down the food moving through your digestive tract, which means you eat less food, which means what? You're getting less nutrition. It has nothing to do with the damn calories. So from the study, this is in the New England Journal of Medicine, Terry and everybody, you can go look it up. Once weekly semaglutide in adults who are overweight or obese, 68 weeks, okay? 68 weeks, that's a year and 4 months. Okay, let me go back to Kristen for a moment. After 68 weeks, it's right in the study, so I'm not making anything up. The weight loss up to 68 weeks was 32 pounds, and of the 32 pounds people lost, 40% was lean muscle mass. And of course, they said this is clinically relevant reduction in body weight. I mean, this isn't just silly. And I'm not against the shots. They're helping diabetics and people that are morbidly obese, but it's nothing more than a calorie. I mean, it's not even calories. It's lack of nutrition. It's just silly. That's all. That's all I'll say. It's just totally silly. No, the actual definition, Terry. No, you're not. No, give me the real definition. Oh, Terry, what did you do, Terry? Let me ask you a question. What did you do about removing toxins from your body? Because that's been studied, what you're talking about there. Not 1 gram of toxin ever left the body. That had nothing to do with lowering inflammation. Terry. Congratulations, that's great. If that worked for you, wonderful. But it's not the same. You don't get to, no. And again, unless you did the measurement for inflammation, there's no way. They've done it on no diet's ever lowered inflammation in history, ever, until now. It went down 25% in a month. That's not happened on macros. I mean, and also, Terry, 60 pounds. I'm just curious. We're having a good conversation now, right? How can I become the next example if this is working? Oh, great, Cindy, wonderful. So, Terry, 60 pounds, how long did it take you? That's really what I want to know. Please just tell me, how long did it take you? I assume you're typing. No, I'm really curious. And I want to applaud you. 1 year and a half? Terry, what planet do you live on? She lost 60 pounds in 3 months. Terry, what planet are you living on? Look at that. You try to compare what you did to her, 60 pounds in 3 months? See, that's the thing. You settle, oh my God, it's so ridiculous. How do you compare that with this? I mean, look at these guys. Andy, my God, he lost 45 pounds in a month. I mean, a year. I mean, at least you were honest. Thank you so much, Terry, for being honest. So I've given the choice, all of you on here. Do you want Terry's method, 60 pounds in a year and a half, or would you rather take her, April's route, 60 pounds in 3 months? Which route would any of you take? Given the choice. Terry, when you did this, you obviously didn't know about this. And congratulations. My God, you should get a gold star medal. A year and a half to lose 60 pounds. We got people losing 5 pounds a week routinely with no exercise. Well, she proved it. In 12 weeks, she lost 60 pounds. That's 5 pounds a week. It's like, what? Really? Really? Again, would any of you, which would you choose? Calorie counting, macros, whatever, 60 pounds in a year and a half or 60 pounds in 3 months with no exercise. And she's healthy and she increased her lean muscle mass. Oh my God. Well, Terry, you're a good sport. You proved my point. You proved my point. Yeah, Cynthia, 60, that's it. 60. Look at Cynthia, 60 pounds in 3 months. Well, because Kristen, just to show you, she lost 21.2 pounds, 38 inches in 30 days. That's 30 days. So extrapolate out. She lost 5 pounds a week. So it's nothing for people to lose 5 pounds a week, or then get to some of the men. He lost 10 pounds a week. 10 pounds a week. And look at his age. Look at the change in his body composition. See, it's silly to try and compare anything to this. It's silly. We'll never argue the fact, I don't care what diet you go on, you're going to lose weight. Yes. But 2/3 of you are going to end up weighing more than when you started in the long run. That's not an opinion on my part. But does everyone see, if you had a choice between 40 pounds in a month or 60 pounds in a year and a half, which one would you choose? I know what you're going to say. But this is safe and it's medically backed and medically proven. Aren't some of you excited about this? Society mom, how? Okay. Here's how. Let me go back to Kristen for just a moment because people are coming on late and I've only got another like 5 or 10 minutes and then I do have to go. I got another appointment. Effectively, mom, here's what they did. They figured out, here's why diets don't work. It has nothing to do with calories. It has to do with the fact that when you go on a diet, you reduce the amount of food you're consuming, you're reducing the amount of nutrition. So the researchers who put this together, who don't have anything to sell, they don't have a company, they don't have any products, they put together a new approach where they found foods, only 30% of what she consumed. She got a grocery list from the grocery store, proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, fruits, salads, etc. But what they did, instead of having her count calories, they gave her serving sizes. Got it? Serving sizes. Well, the other 70% of the food she consumed, listen to this, came from other researchers who had gone to the areas of the world where people are living to be 100 years old and almost no sickness. And they found these food groups in Russia, in Mongolia, in Tibet, in the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand. So these researchers, they use 70% of those foods along with 30% of the food from the grocery store. Got it so far, Mom? So 30% came from the grocery store, 70% from these foods around the world that were coming from areas where people are living to be 100. I kind of think, I want that food, right? Then they created 2 new ways of consuming the food because now they had different rules. It wasn't based on quantity of food. It was based on the amount of nutrition. So 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these food groups from around the world. That was breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner from these foods around the world. Now remember, these foods, they're in areas where people live to be 100 years old. Hello? So that was 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting, which you could never do with regular food. On those days, no food from the grocery store at all, no food from the grocery store. Only these foods around the world. But this time, they let her have those foods. My fingers are all messed up. There we go. 8 times a day, 8 meals a day she was having. So she was having something an hour and a half to 2 hours. Look at the results. Look at those results. Do you see that, everybody? No, Terry, there's no backup of crash diets. No, Terry, that you're wrong. Every study on calorie reduction shows up to 40% lean muscle mass loss. I just read to you from the shots, for crying out loud. That's the New England Journal of Medicine. You're entitled to your opinion, but it's not real. It's not accurate. It's just not. Sorry. And you got to understand, we're talking about 10. First of all, we're talking about the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world that did this. Not just some, again, I appreciate a civil conversation, which we're having. We can just be in violent. You took a year and a half to lose 60 pounds where you could have lost that in 3 months. You tell me which one was better and kept it off. You have kept it off. Great. I'm applauding you. My God, to do that, That means, okay, so you did it in a year and a half, that's 18, so that's 18 months. That means you lost about 3 pounds a month. What? Are you kidding me? You're such a hero. I'm serious. That is fabulous. You have one hell of a willpower. Most people are never going to do that. They would have quit after the first 10, 15 days. I'm happy for you. I'm not being facetious. I mean, really, that's great. But my God, how do you compare losing it in a year and a half to losing it in 3 months safely and gaining 6 to 9% lean muscle and detoxifying your body, which you didn't do with what you were doing? There's never been a study on any of those approaches where 1 gram of toxin has ever left the body. Where this? They did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proving this is helping the body get rid of the chemicals that we're all storing inside of it. Terry, did you see the thing 3 weeks ago? We're storing microplastic in our brain and in our coronary arteries. What are you doing about that? Excuse me, what are you doing about that? All of you. I'm not just talking to Terry. So it's not my system, first of all. It's blue zone eating. Yes, that's exactly right. You got it. How do you get your system? It's not my system. I don't sell it. You go right there. Can you see the above user 86811? Go to the new health conversation. I'll also put it in the chat down the bottom. Okay. The new health conversation. Hold on just a second. I'm posting it at the bottom also for you. Terry, are you listening to me? They measured lean muscle. Your opinion doesn't have any bearing. You can go and see it. They gained 6 to 9% lean muscle. Did you not hear that, Terry? She gained 6 to 9% lean muscle. No one was allowed to exercise. Now, on a diet, you'd be 1,000,000% right. You'd be this is not a diet. That's why it's so different. That's why it's so amazing. That's why it's so we put athletes on this. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. I'll show you one picture before I close for all of you. Athletes, talk about getting in shape. This is 11 days, everyone. Look at day 1, really good shape. 4 days later, so day 5, that's the morning of day 5, not even 5 days. And then look at the morning of day 12, day 11. Look at that transformation. You think that's happening on macros or whatever? It's nonsense. No. So again, the supposition, because it's unhealthy to lose that fat because lean muscle mass without resistance training and protein. You don't understand, Terry. You don't understand. Okay, I'm sorry. You don't get it. It's okay. Sounds like you're a nice person. Keep doing whatever you're doing. I hope it turns out well for you. But what you're saying there is not this. And we have the medical proof to back it up. They gained 6 to 9% lean muscle despite the fact, wait a minute, are you kidding me? She lost 60 pounds in 3 months. Look at, where's the loose skin? There isn't any. So, I do have to go now, okay? Thank you all very much. Yeah, Society Mom, I just don't have enough time right now, I promise. I'm doing one. So it's now 4:45 on the East Coast. How about I do one last one around, let's see, give me about an hour and I'll do one last, and I promise I'll come on, Mom, and I'll go over more about the detox, right? Okay. All right, everybody, I need to sign off. Thanks a lot, Terry. I do appreciate your input. You were very, very hospitable, okay? And everyone else, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will go to the website up there, the New Health Conversation, to see it. Well, that's awfully nice of you to say that, Terry. That is really nice. I really appreciate that. I can't tell you how much I do appreciate it, because I do get a lot of people that for some reason just want to call me names and disparage me. And I just want to have a civil discussion, which we had. So thank you for that comment. It means a lot to me. But everybody else, I got to go now. Sorry.